Hey, yo, have you ever heard of the term called crashing out? You got some people out here that be like, yo, man, for my kids, I crash out. I go to jail over my kids. It's usually dumbass people to be saying stuff like that. But I want to really look and break this down if you really want to think about it. Like crashing out for your kids, right? So, you as a parent who's supposed to provide and protect, teach, encourage, and inspire your children. But you're willing to crash out over them, right? So if you crash out for your kid, you leave them unprotected, you can't provide for them, and they're at the mercy to whoever you leave them in the care with, if any, because you want to crash out. There's a lot of people who are not fit to be parents, man. You got a lot of kids raising kids. A lot of children raising children. It just is what it is. The ignorance and childlike mind that you have to literally crash out over your kid is insanity. What are you talking about? Well, for instance, this guy was giving an example about how he was in the car, he was driving, and he accidentally swerved into the other lane. Nobody got hit or anything like that. He swerved back into his lane. He's like, yo, my bad. The parent had kids in the car, gets out the car, waves their gun around. So 2 or 3 things are happening here. For one, your disorderly conduct. I mean, you're waving a gun. I mean, you're literally waving a gun in public at somebody you're like, yeah, somebody could almost hit you, but it's not to the point where you gotta threaten them with a loaded gun. That's number one. Number two, you're setting an example for your children on how to behave in situations like this. And 3, someone could have really got hurt. And even number 4, was it that big of a deal? You cut somebody out, that's one thing. Still setting a bad example, but hey, that's one thing. You want to flip them off, sign language, however you want to do it. But pulling out a gun because you got kids in the car and somebody almost hit you, that's crazy. Now you're escalating the situation way more than it needs to be. We don't practice a lot of humility. We don't practice a lot of walking away, biting your tongue. You got a lot of people who literally will be like, oh, you say something to my kid? I'm going to crash out over my kid. Dumbass. Because if they really wanted to get at you or your kid or whatever, hey, get you locked up, now they got full access to your kid. What are you going to do? Or you dead and gone. Or you're locked up. Or you're unemployed now, you can't provide for your kids. Or you put your children in danger. It makes no sense, man. You gotta start learning how to use your brain. Life is chess, not checkers, man. And a lot of y'all are moving step by step, not using your brain or common sense to be able to get the things that you want out of life. You don't have to solve everything by putting your hands on somebody. You don't have to solve everything by shooting somebody. Sometimes you don't even have to engage in a verbal conversation with somebody. Because what is it going to solve? A lot of y'all do things because of emotional context, and you do it because you feel good after you do it. Not smack shit out that nigga. All right, now you feel good. You feel good in that moment. Now I pulled the gun, I let him know what it is, cuz you feel good in the moment, but did you really solve the problem? You big and bad, they got scared. What if they call the cops? What if it's on camera? Everybody got a camera phone these days, man. You pulling out a gun on somebody, bruh, no matter if they almost hit your car or not, they didn't hit your car. They said something to your kid in the grocery store that you ain't like. You threatened to do something to them. Now you're getting a record. Now you might be going to jail. You might get banned from the store. Is it worth it? And what kind of example are you setting for your child? You don't think about things like this because you want to be big and bad, and you think of with the mind of a child. You don't think of the mind of an adult. You ever see Boondocks? Yeah, the famous scene in there called a nigga moment. And in that moment, The black dude bumps into another black dude, and they automatically pull guns out on each other, talking about how they're gonna run down on each other, try to shoot at each other, shoot everybody but themselves, and then they both get themselves killed by the police. Man, show that same situation with a white guy, and the guy was about to go in on the black dude, and he was like, what am I arguing for? I'm a white guy, what am I? But the context should have been, I'm an adult. Why am I arguing with this dude? What am I arguing? Why would I crash out over you? See, when you got a lot to lose, you got a lot to live for, especially if you got children, actually, you should want to live for them. You would want to be there for them. Crashing out for them doesn't do anything for your children. You want them to hold a sign outside the precinct or whatever, free mommy, free daddy, dummies, dumbs. It makes no sense, man. Start using your brain, okay? It's sad you got a lot of people out here that really think like that, man. Certain areas, certain neighborhoods, certain cities, certain demographics, certain individuals who think like that, man. They crash dummies. They are real life crash dummies. What can you do? What can you do? Just sit back and laugh. Just shake your head, man. Because it's a never-ending cycle. I hope this video come across your page, especially if you're a crash dummy, to realize that one, you're a crash dummy, and two, how not to be a crash dummy, you know? Don't be a crash dummy, man. Be there for your family. Be there for your kids. You can protect your kids without crashing out. You can protect your kids and still be there for them. You don't have to get yourself locked up, get a mug shot, and be all tough and cool because, hey, yo, when you think you're Billy Badass, you might run into somebody who's a little bit more with the shits than you. And again, you don't want to put yourself or your kids in danger over some dumbass shit. So, hope this video helps. Take it for what it is. And I'll see you in the next video.